All right, triple threat. We're going back to the history of Poland by Eastory, the Deluge, Part 3, 1660 to 1667. My name is Kit. This is Americans Learn. And be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe and hit the ring bell notification. That way, all you beautiful people are made aware when we upload new content upon our YouTube channel. And today, we have ourselves a fun video to check out. It's, again, from Eastory, History of Poland, the Deluge, Part 3. So, folks, look, we do this for all the videos here for Americans Learn. Please be sure to support the original content creators. Please be sure to support the original content creators. The links to all these videos in which we get our Learn on are in the description box below. So, as a favor from me, to you, to me, be a hip, cool cat, you guys and gals, and support the original content creator, because I know you'll do the right thing. But enough of me talking. Enough of me wasting time. We're here to check out the history of Poland, and this is close to my heart. R.I.P., Grandpa. I think you would have really liked the animations and the story behind it. But Poland, let's push forward to Poland and see how the Commonwealth will survive this. So, since I'm in charge of the ones and twos, let's get ready to play this video in a 3, a 2, a 1. Victory for Poland.
It was a conflict which spanned a large area, led to unparalleled devastation, and featured an unlikely comeback story. That's right, the country is the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth and the conflict is the Deluge. This is the 3rd episode of the miniseries, so let's catch up with what has happened up to this point. In part 1, the Commonwealth had suffered a rebellion by its Cossack subjects and was subsequently invaded and occupied by Russia and Sweden. You can check out the video we made about
It wasn't sweet of Sweden to do that.
it here. In the second part, many nations gathered together and with their help
Okay, I should be laughing at this too hard, but this is actually pretty kind of funny.
the Commonwealth was able to defeat Sweden. And here is the video. By the start of this episode, the western part of the Commonwealth is free of foreign occupation and the Commonwealth is ready to move to the next phase of its comeback.
Yes.
For this, 2 things were necessary. First was to take back the lands lost to Russia and the Cossacks and to move its eastern border back to where it was at the start of the war. Second was the internal reform. Commonwealth had been occupied and devastated by its neighbors on a scale unseen before.
I like how they got the loot right there. They're cooking some breakfast sausages because they gotta get their grub on. But a man is dead in the background over there.
While a lot of people claimed that it was just bad luck, a result of a series of unfortunate circumstances that was to blame, some, including the King of the Commonwealth, John Casimir, found the country's political system to be at fault for the events. As a solution, they proposed that some power should be taken away from the nobles and given to the king. This would have avoided many of the disastrous events that had taken place during the crisis and would prevent their recurrence. These 2 tasks, reconquest and reform, would determine the Commonwealth's fate in the future. Russia and the Commonwealth had forces of comparable size, but Russia had to garrison the area it had captured and as a result its field armies were considerably weaker. Its only chance of successful defense was pulling them back near the fortresses. However, in Lithuania, the Russians did not learn in time the Commonwealth's of
I didn't know they had the internet and cat videos back in the day. Hey, you learn something new every single day. We're on this channel. The cats distract everyone. It's all part of their evil plan.
offensive, and the army was thoroughly defeated. With Russian army driven from the field, the Commonwealth's forces advanced far into Russian-controlled territory and established a defensive perimeter. In this way, many Russian garrisons found themselves cut off and in the next years were forced to surrender. In the south, the Russian army was also caught unprepared, but it managed to fortify itself in the rolling stock and the Cossacks were coming to its rescue. And indeed, soon the Cossack army arrived. But instead of fighting the Commonwealth's forces, they began to negotiate. They were unsatisfied with how they were being treated by Russia and proposed that if the Commonwealth would grant them the rights they wanted, they would rejoin it. The deal was made, and the lands up to the Dnieper River recognized the Commonwealth's authority. The Russian army was now surrounded by hostile territory, and with no hope of a rescue, it surrendered. With a successful campaign under his belt, it was now time to concentrate on politics. John Casimir wanted to decrease the power of the nobility, but would he begin by taking away their estates, reduce their tax privileges, or lower their legal status? No. He would address the very foundation of their power, the royal election. So, how does it work? The previous king is dead, and it's time for election. The nobles gather near Warsaw, where different lords are presented as candidates. After a suitable candidate is
Hold on.
near Warsaw, where different lords are presented as
You know what? My vote's for Lord Vader.
candidates. After a suitable candidate is chosen, he has to sign a contract with the Commonwealth which limits his power and burdens him with several obligations. If he was not to sign it, there were plenty of others who would. This system favored the nobles greatly, and as more elections happened, the longer the list became. John Casimir wanted to make a small change to the system. Instead of electing his successor after his death, it should happen during his reign. The election would proceed as usual, the nobles would gather, the candidates would be presented,
Lord Vader.
and the election campaigns would be launched. But at the same time, John Casimir would operate behind the scenes. He would use his reigning monarch power of appointment to offices, bribes and coercion to influence the election and have his candidate chosen. At the same time, he could reduce the limits of future king's power. As a result, the authority of the monarchy would gradually expand. A vote was called for moving the election forward, and the nobles rejected it. John Casimir did nevertheless have considerable support. If he could secure the army on his side, he would be able to suppress his opponents with force and press through the changes anyway.
Oh, that's incredible.
To secure the
All
army's
right.
loyalty, he planned to defeat Russia. Russia still controlled some fortresses in the Commonwealth's territory. John Casimir did not have the time to lay siege on them. He wanted to defeat Russia in a single campaign, forcing it to give back the lands.
All right. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. These three guys have something in common, and they all thought they could handle Russia. Nope, they can't. There's only one person and its fantastic friends who have ever been able to conquer Russia, or what will soon be known as Russia, or what was going to be Russia at that time. And that is Genghis Khan and his fantastic friends. Napoleon, Your Majesty, and first name Adolf, last name Hitler. Good luck, you three stooges, because no one has ever conquered Russia except for Genghis Khan and his fantastic friends.
For this, he gathered a large army. He had the Crown Army and had retained an alliance with the Tatars. In addition, the liberated Lithuania formed another army, and the newly subjugated Cossacks yielded another. Altogether, he had a force of 70,000 men. The plan was to invade Russia, find their main army, crush them with superior forces, and make Russia sign peace and return the eastern territories. The Commonwealth's forces crossed the Dnieper, but Russia was aware of its previous defeats and did not dare to meet the Commonwealth's army in open battle. Its forces locked themselves in the fortresses, and its field armies stayed away from major engagements. The Commonwealth's troops advanced further, capturing and laying waste to large territory, and did a lot of damage to Russia, but they were not able to defeat its main armies and finish the war. The campaign ended, and the army returned back to the Commonwealth. John Casimir now had to choose whether to attempt to finish the reconquest with another campaign, or to bring his forces back home to force through the reforms. He chose the latter. The latter, like the last thing I mentioned. Okay. This led to a civil war, which we will not look into, but it did not go well for John Casimir.
Oh, come on, Johnny boy.
The reforms. The chance to recover the eastern lands was lost too. While John Casimir was dealing with internal politics, the Cossacks in the Commonwealth's territory revolted again. Not being content with either the rule of the Commonwealth nor Russia, they now looked at the third major power in the region, the Ottoman Empire, and sought its protection. They were joined by the Tatars, and together they began raiding the Commonwealth. Unable to fight off two enemies at once, the Commonwealth made a truce with Russia, and the attempts to recover the eastern lands were abandoned. John Casimir was disappointed with the failures, abdicated the throne of the Commonwealth, and left the country.
Yo.
For several decades, the war...
Yo, I didn't know you could do that. You usually you get assassinated or die in battle or die in bed or disease or something like that. I didn't know that. He was just like, screw this. I'm done. I'm done here. Whoa.
with the Tatars, Cossacks, and the Ottomans would continue, but the Deluge, the invasion of the Commonwealth by Russia and Sweden, was over. So why is it that people in general don't know about the Deluge? Although it had a lot of twists and turns and is a good lesson of politics and one of the greatest comeback stories, it really didn't change that much. While it could have been a learning experience and changed the direction of the Commonwealth's development, it remained a footnote in history. The flaws of the Commonwealth's political system remained in place. 30 years later, the Commonwealth's neighbors conspired to use the election to install their own candidate to the Commonwealth's throne. They failed to secure the majority of the votes, but as the election took place after the previous king's death, there was no strong government in the Commonwealth to enforce the election results. This allowed the foreign powers to bribe part of the nobles and use military force to put their candidate to the throne. Thus, for the next century, the Commonwealth's king was chosen not by its nobles, but by foreign powers.
Yo.
And these countries made sure that while they moved forward on the tech tree, the Commonwealth would have policies in place that slowed its development down to a crawl. As a result, during the following century, the military discrepancy of the Commonwealth and its neighbors gradually became very stark. So, one time, Prussia decided to use its superior army and annex part of the Commonwealth. Other powers did not want to miss out and joined in themselves. The Commonwealth now understood that its present political system would lead it to disaster and started the reforms John Casimir had originally envisioned.
Not gonna work.
But it was 100 years too late, and the Commonwealth's military strength was...
The ghost of John Casimir is looking at it like, guys, you know what? I told you, but guess what? I'm here playing chess. I'm drinking nice wine. I'm eating a delicious meal. I don't have time for your BS.
weak. Seeing that the Commonwealth might acquire a strong government and an army to reclaim the lands it had lost, the neighboring powers fully occupied and partitioned the country. With the Commonwealth gone, the political developments inside it were discontinued and the future was shaped by the neighbors that had partitioned it. The Commonwealth didn't really have a role in shaping our present reality and has become mostly a footnote. This was the story of the Deluge. A footnote of a footnote in history.
Of a footnote.
And now let's take a moment to appreciate all the fine folks listed here, our cast and crew who made this video possible. In some weeks we will be back to the Second World War with a translated video from my other channel. See you next time!
Well, all right. There's a lot to unpack here. It's a very sad, tragic story. I was rooting for the Commonwealth and His Majesty John Casimir for absolute victory, but then I remembered. Wait a minute, hold on. During the First World War, there was, or even before then, there was a time when Poland was occupied by foreign powers like the German Empire, the Austrian-Hungarian Empire, the Russian Empire, and other nations and kingdoms and foreign powers. So, I remember my grandpa, he used to have a lot of books in regards to the history of Poland, what it meant to him, and I think he would get a big kick out of this. Seriously, Eastery, you're killing it with these funny videos, man. I just got to say, 10 out of 10. Just I love it when you have the people just just there chilling, watching the cat videos, or they're fighting. My favorite part, of course, let's see if I can get it up in time. Hold on, let me see if pull up the video where Poland is just getting curb stomped right here. This is it's like somebody said something at the club or at the bar or at a family gathering. It's just like there's no stopping it, and people are gonna go crazy at each other because 10 out of 10, absolutely hilarious. All right, folks. We'll continue on with more content from Eastery when we are able to pull it up. So, folks, please be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Be sure to hit that ring bell notification. The original link to this video is in the description box below. I am encouraging all you wonderful, beautiful people to please support the original content creator. That link is in the description box below. Do that. Check out all of our other social media links and follow Eastery on all their social media because it's the right thing to do. Third week of 2024. How's it treating you? Take good care.